Great question. Good here, Patty. We've got a bunch of illegals. If we start enforcing the laws, close the border, how do we get them to leave? Well, you know, this. I'm so glad you mentioned this, Patty, because we've heard this again across party lines. George W. Bush, John McCain, and I guess about 3 weeks ago, President Obama said, "No, look, we can't begin to seal our border." And then the guy who ran saying, "Yes, we can," says, "No, we can't," when it comes to the border. But I got a sneaking suspicion that if he thought everybody coming in the country was going to vote Republican, he'd find a way to seal that border really quick. But here's the more serious thing. We haven't enforced the law for the last 25. When you enforce the law, people obey the law. It's called attrition through enforcement. We don't have to have mass roundups of people. The Arizona Republic had an article a couple of years ago. The governor of Sonora, they were trying to make him out to be a victim. He was complaining because all his fellow Sonorans were returning home. Why? Well, because a guy who's endorsed me for the Senate, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, started enforcing immigration law here in Maricopa County. You enforce the law, people obey the law. And we just never have enforced it.
Anybody else who hasn't asked a question?
Not a question, but a comment. I came in this room with no idea who I was going to vote for, and you have my vote now.
Michelle Malkin has endorsed me. Mark Levin, the author of Liberty versus Tyranny, has endorsed me. Mike Gallagher, Congressman Dana Rohrabacher, my old congressional colleague Tom Tancredo. A lot of good folks have, but the most important endorsement is yours. And again, if you just do this for me, if you're going to vote for me, would you please talk to 3 or 4 of your friends? Because a lot of the time, it's not they don't study issues, it's just that your word, the ultimate endorsement is yours, both with your vote and talking to friends. If you would do that, we can make history 3 weeks from tonight. And I hope you'll join me in making that history.
I sent my letter to McCain's office requesting my presidential campaign fund return. What do you think my odds are?
Well, they may wait till after August 24th.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I tried to get her to listen to your radio show for a long time.
Well, see, she was just waiting for the live stage show, that's all. She just wanted to come out on the town for a night of entertainment and enlightenment.
I've been independent my whole life. I married a conservative, so.
God bless you. You're improving him, and in some ways he's opening new vistas of historical fact to you.
Rose.
This is not a question, but I did hear this today. Apparently they can find a diseased cow in Canada, in a farm, in a barn, and who its offspring is that caused the problem. Why can't they identify all these illegals? They can find a cow, maybe we should just assign each illegal cow.
Well, there you go. That's revolutionary new agricultural policy, isn't it?
Behind.
I have a question. Would you be interested in introducing a bill, an immigration bill that's based on production versus family affiliation? Prior to 1960, I think Ted Kennedy introduced a bill. Immigration is based on family affiliation, and put very strict quota on immigration from other countries, because before that it was based on job, what America needs in terms of production and capital. So immigration came from people who bring capital or bring different jobs.
She's asking, she was just giving us some historical background. Yeah, you're right. The Immigration Act, I believe, of 1965, authored by Ted Kennedy, led to chain migration based on family affiliation, as opposed to those workers, or let's face it, those immigrants America wanted to bring in for a variety of reasons. I think we have to update immigration for the 21st century, first and foremost, in terms of enforcing current immigration law. And then we have to have a national discussion on how best to make immigration a merit-based program that we do to help the American people. But I think we also want to tread carefully that we don't, in the process, restrict Americans from getting jobs for which they are qualified. So we need to have that debate. You've raised a good topic, and the general answer is yes. As part of that reform, I think we have to look at merit instead of chain migration.